what is this?
We're going around that tall peak with the snow on it.
Yep.
To the right.
Okay.
Since it's touching the clouds, that means our tops are at 10,000. Or the cloud bottoms are at 10,000.
Ben, are you seeing this out the left?
Yeah, it's nuts.
This is unbelievable.
This is crazy.
Basic tower information Tango, time 2355 Zulu, wind 190 at 1.
Okay, we're on tower now. One, 2, 1, 6. Great job, guys.
Nice job.
That was literally insane. And oxygen's off.
And there's something about having that ceiling too. It's like you're boxed. You know?
It must have made it smooth though.
Well, we did our research, just in case anybody thinks that we're being reckless or anything. We did plenty of research knowing about what the conditions were and what we had as far as ceilings. But, whew, it sure gets your nerves up no matter what.
Glacier Park Tower, but it's an 8908 Julia Bravo.
Bonanza 89 Julia Bravo, Glacier Tower.
Bonanza 8908 Julia Bravo, an 836 Bonanza, about 7.3 to the northeast, just south of Quorum, inbound with Tango.
Shows 8908 Julia Bravo, roger, and report a 5-mile left base for runway 20.
Report 5-mile left base for 20, hey Julia Bravo, thanks. Alright, so I want this to come like that. Beautiful.
Oh, the kids are...
the kids are sleeping throughout that whole thing. You know where we're going.
Bonanza 8 Julia Bravo, turn left Bravo 4, Bravo to park this frequency, have a good night.
Left on Bravo 4 to Bravo. Thank you very much.
Ask them where the GA parking is.
Where's the GA parking?
Yeah, it's back there off Bravo 4. Just go straight ahead by the jet center there.
Sounds good, thank you very much. So, Bravo 4 right here.
Oh my God, this breakfast.
You have to see this breakfast.
This is called the Hungry Man's.
What's it called?
The Hungry Man's.
Are you hungry?
Apparently, I'm gonna have to be.
That's a biscuit. Put your hand next to that. Well, we're here at Sykes in Kalispell, Montana. This is unbelievable. The food's fantastic. It's so amazing. We're starting to really, really like our first recovery day as part of our adventure here, right, guys? Mm-hmm.
There's a... Thanks.
Pretty cool.
Are you videoing?
Yep.
Oh. This is how the utility knife was invented. I'm ready to open a lot of boxes in the wild.
I think one of these trees wants to move.
Alright, so the area over Jake's shoulder here is what we had after making that sharp left turn after Logan Pass. And it's absolutely spectacular to see from the ground what we then were able to accomplish through the air. having that cloud layer right above us and following that valley guideline. It's just absolutely breathtaking here. I'm going to turn the brightness down on us and up on the background so you can see a little bit of the majesty of that as the sun begins to set here at Glacier National Park. All right, so we're here in Whitefish, Montana, and as we were driving down the street, we saw something we hadn't seen before, at least coming from the East Coast, and that was Hank's hatchets and axe throwing. Hatchets and axe throwing is probably something that would be pretty fun to have back home, but it hasn't something that we've seen back in the Boston area before. And so I'm here with Jay from Hank's, and we're going to learn what's involved in all of this. It looks pretty cool. We're going to learn how to do it a little bit ourselves. Now, Jay, you've got a whole bunch of hatchets next to you here.
Yes, I do.
Can you tell me a little bit about this?
Okay. So we have two models that we have our customers throw. We've got one of the S-Wing models.
Okay.
This is for people that are a little stronger, like throwing a little bit harder.
Okay. Can I see that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So S-Wing, this is the larger one that you said for people who are a little stronger. Okay.
Yep. And then the one that I like to have people start out with is just the smaller hatchet. It's got no special name. It's just one that you get we got off of Amazon.
Okay.
This one is kind of the go-to.
It's light.
Yep,
yeah.
It's a lot lighter.
Okay.
And then I'll also make kind of recommendations, just kind of watching people and seeing how they're throwing, seeing what would work best for them.
Okay.
We also do have two models that we sell through the World Axe Throwing League, which we're a part of.
Okay.
So this first one, this is our owner's favorite. It's called the Ace of Spades. The bigger axe head makes it so it has a nice spin rotation. So that's been his go-to. This was my go-to up until about a week ago, in which me and the other gentleman working with me like to throw. This one's called the Bad Axe.
The Bad Axe.
Yes.
May I?
Absolutely.
The Bad Axe. And this is gorgeous. I mean, the last two that you've got here that are specifically made for axe throwing and part of the competition that you said, these are polished. These have inlays. I mean, that's a beautiful tool.
Yeah, and just from listening to our customers, most of them, after going from these two to the professional models, they probably like the professional models a lot more.
Yeah, and you sell those here as well?
Yep.
So tell me about your background. Tell me about axe throwing. I mean, it's like I said, it's totally new to us. It seems like a lot of fun and obviously kind of a Western thing.
Absolutely.
And so there's a whole competition. There's a World Axe Throwing competition. What's the name of the organization?
It's the World Axe Throwing League. So WATL. That's who we go through.
Okay.
That's if you see axe throwing competitions on like ESPN, those are the guys that you're seeing on there.
And how is it scored? How's it organized?
So the game that they recognize, it's called the standard. We have it right up here on our boards.
Okay.
It's 10 rounds of throwing. So scoring is 1, 2, 3, 4. Bullseye is worth 6. And then on the 5th and 10th round, you have the opportunity to go for a kill shot, which are those 2 blue dots.
Okay.
And then highest combined score wins.
And are you throwing 1 axe per round?
Yep.
Okay, so 1 axe per round, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, and 6. And then on certain rounds, you get a chance to do those kill shots of those 2 little blue dots in the upper side. And how many total rounds again?
10.
10 rounds.
Yep.
That's pretty cool. That's it seems like a lot more fun than darts in a bar.
Yep. It's very similar, but there's just something very gratuitous about picking up something that has a big
weight
and some weight and a blade and chucking it out.
Exactly. You ever thrown an axe in anger?
All the time. All the time.
All right, so you're going to help get me started, as well as Jake and Ben. They're going to come out here, and we'll be, I guess, shooting on this one right here. And we'd love to try all of them to get a feel for what's involved, and have you give us some tips on how this works, and get some technique going, and see if you can take a few East Coast boys and turn us into mountain men a little bit.
Absolutely.
All right, let's get started. So you probably couldn't see that all the way, but Chauncey went all the way back, and it did 3 rotations in getting in there. That's pretty amazing. Do you compete?
Yeah, we're just starting our WATL league in September.
Excellent. That's so cool. I mean, again, as Jay was saying, I always thought about it with what you see in the movies. I mean, you know, you throw it, you think it goes over and over and over. It's not. Like 1 rotation or 2 rotations to get all the way there.
Yep.
So this is incredibly cool. Thank you guys so much. We're going to do a little more throwing and see if we can get it just enough so that maybe we can demonstrate it somehow at home after 12 or 15 tries. And see where we are. And then we'll figure out where we settle in on what the best axe is on us. Now, what do they cost generally?
So typically we sell these for $75. That's for the Ace of Spades and then that bad axe. But you can get like the S-Wings and that smaller one that we're using for about $35 to $40, depending on where you go.
So a quality throwing axe is still less than $100.
Yep.
And then down from there for different ones.
Yep.
Have you ever thrown anything that's like what you see on any of the shows, like Viking style axes, or things that look like they're totally out of weight?
We had one guy come in. He had built his own like double-headed, like big old Viking axe. The blade was about.
Oh, so you're talking the big double-headed things?
Yeah. He brought it in. He was able to get it to consistently stick.
Wow.
To the target.
I was thinking on what I'd seen on some of the Hatchet style, which looked like they had a very big cutout, and it was only the very end of the blade that was long. But yeah, there's a lot of. So the craziest one you've seen is the double-headed.
Maybe a tomahawk or something?
Yeah, something like that.
Okay. Yeah. I've got a tomahawk at home. I would have brought it if I knew.
Yeah. That's pretty cool. All right, well, let's see how these 3 guys do, and all of us, and then we'll come back and learn a little more.
Yeah.
Thanks.
With 50, and you
49.
got 49.
49 to 50.
Yeah. There we go.
All right, we're coming to the end of our trip here to Glacier National Park, and I am standing here. In the background you can see Jackson Glacier. It's really a spectacular glacier. You know, if you look back at the history of the park, when it was established in 1910, there were over 100 glaciers. By 1966, that was down to 35, and today it's down to only 26, and they're receding at a really fast pace. And so if you're even considered flying out here and experiencing experiencing all that the park has to offer. I encourage you to do it and do it soon while there are still glaciers for you to see. It's amazing the changes that are happening around this park. It's really evident of some of the climate change that's going on. And so we are actually going to stay out here a little bit this evening. We're going to go to one of the highest, darkest points in the park, and we actually brought a telescope in the Bonanza. We're going to set that up and see what we can see in an environment that we just don't have an opportunity to do back home. And then next we're going to load everything up and we're going to go back through the mountain pass, and it looks like the weather's going to be clear for this, and it'll be really fascinating to see the 3D on both the Aspen and the Avidine IFD 550 on the way back. We'll show you that with both terrain awareness and without terrain awareness as we go through on our way back, and you can see all of that very cool stuff. You'll also be able to see it on the L3 link system. So we're going to get on with this part of our journey. We'll see you when we get ready to take off.
Glacier ground, Bonanza 898 Julia Bravo.
Bonanza 898 Julia Bravo, Glacier ground.
Bonanza 898 Julia Bravo is over at the Jet Center. We have Yankee ready to taxi for departure to the northeast.
Bonanza 898 Julia Bravo, runway 2, taxi via Bravo.
Taxi to runway 2 via Bravo, Julia Bravo, thanks. Hey Julia Bravo, ready to go.
Bonanza 898 Julia Bravo, runway 2, clear for takeoff, say direction of flight.
Runway 2, clear for takeoff, we're going to go to the northeast.
Bonanza 8 Julia Bravo, northeast departure approved.
Runway 2, clear for takeoff, right turn out departure approved. Everybody all set? Yep, all set.
908 X-ray, roger, traffic is Bonanza just on starting its departure roll-off runway 2 heading towards Bad Rock.
Just south of Bad Rock now, thanks.
Yeah, so the biggest reason for using oxygen at this point is just because we're going to continue our climb right after we get through this to 11.5 actually, and even then, you know, you don't legally need it, but what we've certainly found is using this AirOx system, boy, we arrived refreshed. We didn't feel some of this fatigue that you feel even if you're flying only at 7,000 feet. I'm certainly going to want to use it a lot more. You're looking at winds on the ground from the nearest station.
Okay,
And
never mind.
I actually have to use,
you're right.
I'm going to use the Aspen because it calculates your actual wind.
Okay, so basically, we're going to be hugging this going straight across.
Then we end up making a right.
Yeah. Really, this ridge right here, we're just hugging that ridge around. We're not actually going over that ridge.
Sounds good.
Yeah, that looks really cool.
It's silky smooth too, not rough air at all. No, we are very fortunate. There's that lake right off to our right. Little pond thing. Wow. Is that where we were? No.
Maybe.
No, that would be where we were too.
I don't think so.
We weren't that close to here. So it's actually really cool having both the Aspen showing you directionally right in front of the pilot, but then for the co-pilot as well, I had situational terrain awareness right in front of me. Yeah, you know, it's impressive. So for this flight, we're using the IFD 550, which is really impressive, having full synthetic vision on it. It's helped us be able to see forward and navigate our route through the mountains. Really, really, really cool unit. We just installed it before the trip, and specifically decided that it was worth doing this, and it really made sense, and to make an investment like this when you're going to take a trip out here and then have it forever. And so I couldn't be happier. You know, one of the things that I was actually very pleasantly surprised about, because I upgraded from a 540, is it actually is far brighter. It looks like, I'll have to ask them, but it looks like it's got new glass. Like, it's not just that it has the synthetic vision and attitude, and it's basically, I mean, it's basically, you know, a full attitude indicator, gives you yaw and everything, as well as your flight path indicator. But at the same time, having that like super bright display, and it just looks fantastic. So we're using that for the forward looking, and using the IFD 440 below it, having the plan view of the terrain. And it was showing on the way out the red and yellow and everything we had to worry about as we were climbing. And now we're through the park on our way back, and couldn't be happier. Yeah, and it's a cool combination. I mean, we really have the benefit of the Aspen right here, the IFD right there, and the L3 Lynx, which has terrain awareness on it, as well as our traffic, which is so important because, you know, there's no radar coverage in here. And we have active traffic on our Lynx, so even though ADS-B is such a great benefit to general aviation, and it can get you traffic, when you get into remote areas like this, having active traffic where it's looking out and pinging other aircraft's transponders is really important. If there was another aircraft coming around the bend, or that we as soon as we turn on we would see them, but another aircraft or just an ADS-B equipped aircraft would not see them. And lastly, the one thing I want to say is, it's really important also to keep your subscriptions up to date. That's something that a lot of people don't think about. But not only does it keep obstacles up to date for things like this, as well as all of your airport and your route information, but even if you look at something like the L3 Lynx, we use Jeppesen data. We update all of our displays, all of our units using Jeppesen data. And if you have an ADS-B system that displays and you have not updated the data in it, then when you get METAR and TAP information across, then it has nothing to reconcile, because airport identifiers change regularly. We see a lot of airports that change their identifiers, and the Lynx has all of that built in. And so a lot of people don't think about it if they go and they get like an L3 Lynx. They don't think that they need to keep and maintain that Jeppesen data subscription that's inside of it. I would definitely make sure that you do that, because otherwise you're going to find that you pick up some weather data that it can't reconcile, or you don't even receive it because it doesn't know how to what that identifier is compared to the airport that you're actually over.